Hi, this is Dr. Mark Pitstick from soulproof.com, sharing with you exciting scientific proof and research documenting the existence of spirit. This is the good news that sets us free, and in the last tape we're talking about Aldous Huxley in his book Doors of Perception, discussing that 95% of the central nervous system functioning is inhibitory in nature. That is, it keeps us from sensing all of the input that's in our environment. So for example, radio waves that emanate from China are going through the atmosphere. Well, if we heard everything that's out there, all the voices, could see all the colors, we couldn't function. Kind of like people who are psychotic, just too much input. And so that inhibition, that dampening of sensory input is functional. However, it's not totally useful if it keeps us from realizing the full extent of reality around us. So that's why practices like meditation, breathing, Aldous Huxley was discussing use of entheogens, LSD, and mood-altering substances to open those doors of perception a bit more, and then realize the other 95% of reality that's usually not observable by our senses. So water, the three different forms of water provide a useful analogy for understanding this a bit more. So as everyone knows, you have water at room temperature, for example. If it's cold enough, below 32 degrees, it starts freezing into solid ice. Well, if it's past 212 degrees, it boils and escapes as steam. But those are all different three forms of water. Well, likewise with human beings, we have this formed nature of ourselves. But then we have another aspect of ourselves, which is spirit, which is formless, undetectable by the five senses, much like steam with water. And in the same way, the steam molecules, it's still water, but they're vibrating at a faster rate. Likewise, we're told spiritual beings, formless beings, their energy is vibrating at a higher, faster rate than more dense, solid humans. So something to think about there and help you understand, again, all of this information. Once you get it, it's crystal clear. It's really all around us. Here's a quote from Dr. William James, one of America's preeminent behavioral scientists. He says, quote, "Our normal waking consciousness, rational consciousness as we call it, is but one special type of consciousness, while all about it, parted from us by the filmiest of screens, there lie potential forms of consciousness entirely different. No account of the universe," Dr. James says, "in its totality can be final, which leaves these other forms of consciousness quite disregarded." So again, all these quotes are in my book Soul Proof. I've done the work for you so you can see the highlights of this. Peter Russell, Dr. Peter Russell, protege of Stephen Hawking. So we're talking top-level physicists here. In his book, Waking Up in Time, University of Cambridge, he says that time, space, and matter are only relatively real, and that only light can be considered absolutely real, irrespective of surrounding conditions. Light and consciousness, he notes, exhibit important parallels. Russell defines consciousness as the ability to have experiences. It's like a screen that the movie projector needs for the movie to be experienced. So we'll talk more about Dr. Peter Russell and other scientists in the next section. Be sure to visit our website, soulproof.com. Sign up for the free newsletter.